Good morning. Good morning. It's a beautiful day here, and I'll be honest that that's going to be what I say no matter what, whether it's raining or it's colding or whatever. Because, like I've said so many times before, if you wake up and you open your eyes and you can see, even if you're a person that can't see, but you've opened your eyes and you can experience life, it's a beautiful day. No matter what's going on, we can decide it's a beautiful day. So, that is my decision. But luckily, I mean, we had rain during the night, so it's nice and fresh out there and um, takes down some of the pollen. Um, and then also it reinforces the growth of all the stuff, so there'll be more pollen. But I love, love, love living in the area where there is so much blooming stuff so early. So I know if I've got a sinus issue going on, no worries. It's still a beautiful day. So, anybody that pops in live, make sure that you say hello because since I'm streaming and I'm not actually on Facebook, I can't really see who shows up or anything like that. So make sure you say hello. And if you haven't given StreamYard permission to see your information, then you'll have to tell me who you are so that I know. And there's an easy way to give StreamYard permission. Any of these lives that I've done, there is a little piece of the description that says allow StreamYard, go to this link. So you just go to that link and it just from that point on, it will populate your information for StreamYard. So just do that if you have the opportunity. It's not invasive. I mean, I don't see that it does anything we wouldn't want to do. So, but give it permission if you feel led to do that. All right. And anybody that's watching the replay, make sure you put hashtag replay because I know I've talked to quite a few people that love listening to these, but can't necessarily be there live. And so make sure that you put hashtag replay. And a quick reminder as well that our action every day and make lasting change is to share our peachy vibes, which is our self-care item. And I noticed earlier I was on looking to see, and I saw that Kimmy was sharing that she had gone to a networking thing and she got a gift. I didn't quite get how it all worked, but anyway, she got a gift of this really cool throw and some soft, warm, fuzzy socks. And so that was going to be part of her self care as being able to use those items. And so I was really excited for her with that. And there's people that have posted that their self care is going to a dance class or it is wearing a tiara. And for me, a lot of my self care is being here with you. And then another thing that I do for self care is my podcast, recording my podcast, and just being able to learn more. So I have books going, and I feel that that's part of my self care. So there are so many things that are self care besides the traditional, taking a bath and doing candles or flowers, and those are great things. Um, However, there are a lot of things that are different for self-care. Like I spoke to someone yesterday, and as we were discussing, she said that she hadn't really been doing much self-care. But as I was talking to her, I said, wait a minute, you're doing some things that are self-care. You're just not recognizing that they are self-care. And that's one of the things I want everyone to really start um, realizing is that so many things that we do throughout our day are self-care items, and recognizing them as self-care kind of helps us to um, sit a little taller and feel a little bit better, because a lot of times we're looking at things of, well, I have to do this and I have to do that. And if we can change that to where I get to do that, and that ultimately is going to be for me, and that can be a self-care item. So I just wanted to make sure to remind you to go into the group and share your self-care item for the day. Make sure you put hashtag peachy vibes. And this is being streamed out to some other places that are not in the group. And so for those that want to maybe share your self-care item and maybe be part of this group, we would love for you to be part of it. And all you have to do is go to vickypoole.com. That's VICKIEPOOLE.com. And that will take you directly to becoming a member. So then you answer the questions. And once you've answered the questions, then I will go in and I will admit you into the group. And so I look forward to seeing you and sharing all this amazing stuff with you. And because on Mondays, I go live in the group and it is only for the group. So I don't stream that out different places. And we celebrate and we chat and we talk. We just have such an amazing time. I teach a lesson, but the really cool thing is that just the vibration of the group actually will help you to make more changes in your life because it lifts us up. And the community is amazing. So if you're looking for a community to help you to stretch and be comfortable, then this is the place to be. So just go ahead and go to vickypoole.com. I almost forgot what I was going to say. Go to vickypoole.com and answer the questions to be part of the group. Love to see you there. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get to the affirmation of the day. All right, here we go. The affirmation is, I am grateful for today. As it is a new day of life and creation. And, I said, if you wake up, it's an amazing, beautiful day, right? Well, every day is a gift and we can choose to use it for amazing things, or we can choose to squander it. It's entirely up to us. And one of the things I was listening to Kyle Cease this morning. I love listening to him, and I have so many different people that I listen to that I just kind of have to filter through different ones because I don't have enough hours in the day to listen to all of them all the time, right? So anyway, and one of the things that he was talking about, which I've heard some of the other people that I listen to talking about the same thing, Myron Golden is one of them, is that money is an infinite resource. Time is a limited resource. And so a lot of times we are using our time to chase the almighty dollar, which there's nothing wrong with using your time to go after what you want, right? The thing is that we do it sometimes in a way that doesn't serve us. And time is limited. Once you've spent your hour, you can't get that hour back. And as you get older, it becomes even more a limited resource. And so that's why, because at my age, a lot of times I'll look at things and I'll think, okay, is that really where I want to spend this time? And then I can evaluate, if it's just a time waster, then, no, I want to spend it somewhere that I feel good at the end of that time, and I've used it for me and I've used it for you. And it's just, it changes the perspective a little bit. Sorry, like I said, the allergy thing, it's real. Let me take a sip of my coffee. So looking at your day, I am grateful for today as it's a new day of life and creation. So we're going to look at, as we are such habitual creatures, and I am one, that from the things that I do sometimes, that a lot of times we're going through on autopilot and we're just doing what we've always done. And we might change it up a little bit, but we may still be redoing behaviors that don't serve us, or It's like we can take advice from someone and start doing something because it worked for them. And then we realize that, wait a minute, I'm not so sure this works for me. And that's one of the things that I evaluate when I see someone telling me they're going to show me exactly how to do this because this is what worked for them. And I always think, well, that's great. Let me see what they did and see if it works, if it would work for me, because we're all different. And my journey may be different from their journey. And so it's really important to evaluate. And that's what I really love about hypnosis when I'm working with a client is I'm not giving them my journey. I am actually talking to them, having a conversation, figuring out what we need to do for their journey. And then we do it in hypnosis so that they have this lasting change. They have these things going on in their life that's for them and not something that I've done that I'm telling them to do. If that makes any sense. I don't know. I'm rambling. Okay. All right. So I just want you to, if you're here live, to tell me, are you grateful for today? And even if you're watching the replay, if you're grateful for today and the fact that you can start all over again, no matter what happened yesterday, no matter if you had this big poof thing that went wrong in your life, it doesn't matter. It's the past, it's gone. But today is the day that you can say, oh, today I do things differently, and begin. And so I will share, I was speaking to someone yesterday, and one of the things that I told them was they had a habitual habit of seeing sometimes the negative thing that might be happening. And so I told her, some different phrasing, some different things to do to be a little more positive in what she was expecting. And I said, you're going to naturally, because this has been your habit for a while, you're naturally going to start all of a sudden, you're doing the positive, and then you're going to go down the rabbit hole of not so positive. But as soon as you recognize that you're doing that, you just say, stop. I'm not doing that today. This is what I'm doing. And then you switch back to the dialogue that is the more positive thing. And it's a muscle that you stretch. And so today, let today be the day that no matter what has not gone right, no matter what you've wished you had done that you didn't do, no matter what has gone on, today's the day that you say, okay, today I am becoming, or I am now the person that this is how things work out. And you start there, because it's amazing just making that declaration that today is a new day and you get to decide who you are. You get to decide how you're going to show up and who you're going to be, right? So just make that decision, because it is yours, no matter what anybody else tells you. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and let's get to the journal prompt. And this is a little bit of a long one, I'll warn you. All right, let me. Oh, it's long enough that it broke it into two pieces. So I'll show you the first part, okay? The first part is reflect on the repetitive patterns in your life. I wonder if I can take the journal prompt part out of it, and maybe, well, no, it still wouldn't be enough. All right. Reflect on the repetitive patterns in your life that resemble your own Groundhog Day. And how have these cycles impacted your growth and happiness? Because most of you have, I would assume, if you haven't seen the Groundhog Day, you know about it, where he relives the same Groundhog Day over and over and over. And in the beginning, he's just pissed and he's just doing stupid things. And then over time, he starts saying, well, wait a minute, maybe I can do something a little bit different. So he starts learning things and he starts helping people and he starts changing so much. that when it finally ends, where he's not repeating Groundhog Day over and over, he's a totally different person. And so that's what I'm talking about. It's, you can say today is the day that I'm going to do things differently, right? So look at what you've been doing and how have you been redoing the same thing over and over. That's what they say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. And if you're a person that's been looking to make changes in your life, yet when you look at your behaviors, your repetitive things, you still do the same things, then that's your Groundhog Day. Those are the things that are cycles that you can look at, and they've impacted your growth, your happiness, who you are, and they keep you stuck where you don't want to be. And a lot of times we get in those places and we get comfortable, we get complacent because we know what to expect there. We know how that feels. And even though it may not feel great, we know what it feels like. And we tend to want to be comfortable and safe, even though the comfort may come from discomfort. It comes from the known, right? And so this can be a little bit outside your comfort zone to look at this and actually do something about it. Because if you look at it and you see all these things that you're doing and you don't do something to change it, then, it's nothing's going to change. So I implore you to change. So, like it says, the next part is today, identify one action. I'm going to go ahead. Let's see. How can I split this up? Hold on a second. Let me do it this way. Hold on. Let me get it. All right. So we're going to go with, this is the first part. I just have to change how I put it in here. All right. Let's see. Hold on a second. Sorry. Takes a little finagling. All right. So this is the first part, right? How have these cycles impacted your growth and happiness? All right. So now we're going to go to the second part. And this to me is the most important part. Today, identify one action you can take or one decision you can make to break free from the cycle and usher in a new chapter of your life. So we just talked about, how we're going through life and with Groundhog Day because we are creatures of habit, and there's things that we do like normally. There's a book that oh gosh, what is the name of it? I think it's Kyle Cease. I cannot remember exactly who it is, but it's Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. And I may have the author wrong. I remember the book, not quite sure who wrote the book, but and I'll see if I can get the link to that book. And let me see, write it down, or I won't remember. And I'll see if I can get the link and I'll share it for you guys. But in this book, he talks about how sometimes just changing little bitty habits, maybe it is Joe Dispenza. I think it might be Joe Dispenza. But he talks about how our brain is wired a certain way, and that's part of the reason why we keep the same behaviors, because we don't change that wiring. So the thing that he suggests in this book is that there's little things that you do every day that you can change just slightly that will actually rewire your brain a little bit. And it's kind of, you don't even realize that it can do that much, but it does. So he recommends, like, if you brush your teeth using your right hand, use your left hand. If you brush your teeth first thing when you wake up, instead do something else first and then go brush your teeth, changing those habits up a little bit. And he also says, one of the things I thought was really cool, and I really had to pay attention to this, is when you go to put your pants on or your underwear, whatever it is, do you put your right leg in first or your left leg? And whichever it is, you will notice, if you start paying attention, that you do it the same way every single time. For me, it's my right. And I guess it's because I'm right-handed. I don't know if that's it or not. However, to break this cycle that you're in a little bit, you can go with, if you do your right leg first, then instead do your left leg first. If you're a person that always goes the same path to work, change your route just a little bit, because we get so habitually attached and into ourselves that we're almost under hypnosis with that. It's like, how many times have you been in the car going somewhere that you go all the time? You always go the same path. You get where you're going and suddenly you don't even remember driving. You don't remember the red lights. You don't remember the stop signs. You don't remember hardly any of it. And that's because you've done it so many times exactly the same way that your subconscious can just take over, drive you there, because that's who's driving the car. It's not you. And your conscious mind is listening to something or thinking about something, going over in your head a conversation you had, and you're not even watching what you're doing. How many times has that happened to you, right? I know for me, it's happened many, many times. And I know a few times I thought, oh my God, did I stop at that stop sign? Did I stop at that red light? Am I going to be getting something in the mail saying, you didn't stop at this stop sign? We got your picture, and so that really woke me up to being more present in the moment when I'm driving, to take that different route, to do these different things so that you're not living the same thing over and over again. And so that is one thing that you can do to begin breaking that cycle of what you're doing. So other than that, what is one decision that you can break free from this cycle? So look at the things that you've got for your day, or if it's evening when you're watching this, whatever, maybe there's something that you've got going on for the next day. What's one decision that you can make that will actually break you out of this cycle of your Groundhog Day? Now, and it's funny that we're talking about Groundhog Day. And the funny thing is, I don't remember what led me to creating this one, other than the fact that my father's birthday, he's been deceased for 30 years, but his birthday is a Groundhog Day. And so he's been in my mind a little bit since Groundhog Day. And then I was thinking this morning about the movie Groundhog Day for some reason. And I started thinking, well, wait a minute. We're doing that all the time. And so that's when I actually, this was not in because I told you I've got a list of all the affirmations and the journal prompts and everything. And this was not in there. I created that this morning because that's what was going on in my mind, thinking about me and my life. And I thought maybe, just maybe, it would be beneficial for you in your life. And I would love, love, love to hear your thoughts on that. If this is something, if you've been living Groundhog Day for a bit, and what's that look like for you? And I would really love for you to share the one action or the one decision, or maybe both, that you're going to take to break free from that cycle. I just gave you quite a few things from the book, Break the Habit of Being Yourself. And like I said, I will share the link to that so that if it's something that you want to dive into a little bit more, get the book, because it has so much information in there. And I love sharing this kind of stuff. And most of the time I can pull out the information, but I can't track it back to where I learned it. But I know I learned some of this from this book, and I'm pretty sure it was Joe Dispenza, because I love his stuff too. All right. You have an amazing, blessed day. And tomorrow is Saturday. Oh, wow. The week has just flown by. Flown by. I don't know if it's flown by for you, but it has for me. I've been ultra busy. I've been having conversations and doing hypnosis sessions and talking to people about getting hypnosis sessions. And it's just been a glorious, glorious time. And I'm actually talking to someone now about writing a book. And I am just, super excited about all these different adventures that are coming into my life. And I will say, one of the things that has created a lot of this is getting outside of my comfort zone, changing my Groundhog Day, and learning from people that are doing the things that I want to do, and reading good books, taking action. And that's the biggest thing. You can learn and learn and learn and learn, but until you take action, your Groundhog Day is your Groundhog Day. So let today be the last day on your Groundhog Day and create an amazing life starting now. All right. See you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Love you guys. Mwah.